soldiers put into concentration camps, more than 1 million Tibetan children put into boarding schools, and more than 1,700 Hong Kong political prisoners arising from the once, known as the financial international city. So we're here to protest and let the world know about the atrocities that Xi Jinping has committed and alert the world that China is not to be trusted.
Talk about the cross-collaboration that's happening today. How many different organizations are involved?
So today's protest is really an act of cross-movement solidarity. It's joined by Hong Kongers, Tibetans, Uyghurs, Chinese dissidents, because over the years we have learned we have one common goal we're fighting for, which is democracy and freedom, and there's one common enemy that we're all facing with it, which is the Chinese Communist Party. And that's why we're banding here today, and we're going to unwelcome Xi Jinping in the largest anti-Xi protest we're gonna see in years to come, because we don't know when he's gonna be here again in the United States. So this is our one and only shot to really protest against it and to let the American public know about the atrocious crimes against the people.
China, they probably don't have protests like this. What do you think, will be the reaction?
Yeah, so I'm sure Chinese people may not have a chance to see we're speaking out here today, but I really want political prisoners and people in Hong Kong to see there's still hope. We're still trying to fight and we're still trying to walk the walk. And over the past few weeks, we have been receiving threats, harassment, after receiving threats, to drag me into the Chinese consulate, because currently I have a 1 million Hong Kong dollar bounty on my head with an arrest warrant by the Hong Kong government. So by being here today, I'm putting myself at risk. But at the same time, I want to show the world this is a price we're willing to pay for the freedom and democracy we deserve and we're fighting for.
Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I wish that people, around the Bay Area, around San Francisco, can come out and join us. There are still a few days that Xi Jinping is here, and we don't really have a lot of chances to protest him directly. And this is our only shot. So come together, band together, and show China and show the U.S. government that China is not to be trusted.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your story? What has it been like coming to the U.S.?
Yeah. So in 2019, during the height of the Hong Kong for Democracy movement, I was actually an anonymous activist working behind computers. Nobody knew who I was. But after the national security law, my identity was exposed. And eventually I had to go into exile, because going back home would mean I would get arrested. And just in July, the Hong Kong government put this bounty on my head, aiming to silence me from my work done here on American soil in Washington, D.C., to work with Congress members, to push for legislations to reconsider the status of Hong Kong government here in America. And that's why we have been receiving a lot of threats. But even with that, we're still continuing with our work, because if we back down, there's not a lot of people who are willing to do this work. And that's why we're here today, with courageous Hong Konger community members here as well, standing behind me, because we want to show Hong Kong people there's still a lot of people fighting and there's still hope, and one day we'll be able to go back to Hong Kong.
And the Hong Kong people, have most people kind of just acquiesced to what's happening in terms of culture, or has there been an eagerness to stand up and fight in Hong Kong?
So within Hong Kong, it's very difficult for people to voice their opinions freely, because there's a heavy-handed crackdown, also a lot of online surveillance going on. People would get arrested for, singing a song or for chanting a slogan on the streets of Hong Kong, and that's a price people have to pay when they're in Hong Kong. That's why we haven't seen mass protests, for the past few years. But even so, a lot of Hong Kong people are still having the spirit to fight for democracy and freedom. They just have to be more creative. They just have to be more innovative. But again, I believe when the window of opportunity opens, Hong Kongers will rise up again and let the world know we're still here fighting the fight, and the world needs to stand with us to fight this fight for democracy around Hong Kong.
Did you feel safe in the United States, in terms of free speech and being able to say what you say?
Yeah, I feel relatively safe. I'm definitely safer compared to if I stayed in Hong Kong, because that would be life imprisonment. But at the same time, there are a lot of transnational repression going on. There are a lot of threats.